Video 83, 36 questions. Should we be able to get the governors to get together in a private little area for a week or two to talk about these very, very important questions, which will reveal much about themselves they might not understand. But let's get to this here. Question number 1. Do you feel, as governor, the money that gets exported out of your state to the levels of the federal government is being wisely spent? Big question. Question 2. Do you feel, as governor, that the money that is being exported from your state under your leadership to the federal levels of the government is being used in manners to hold back a higher education more often to the public mid and lower class or lower wage citizens? Question 3. Do you feel, as governor of your state, that hidden levels of the federal government need to be disbanded to enable a much better chance for a healthier America in its future, to better its future? Question 4. Do you feel, as the governor of your state, that the state's own leadership should deal with the Social Security of their proven legal citizens that will have better aid to assure also that following generations will have Social Security when it is needed? Question 5. Do you feel, as governor of your state, that the health and life insurance should be decided and chosen by those within their own state, including aging military veterans also taken care of? Question 7. Do you feel, as governor of your state, that each state governor and departments within that leadership should have the chance to offer to scientists who have been working models, very elaborate inventions for free energy and designs like magnetic drives or hydrogen-driven vehicles or vacuum or air-driven vehicles? So much, and there's so many options out there, but they're being held back. Do you, as governor of your state, feel that they should be able to be freely enterprising in your state and not have that fear of punishment from corrupt levels of the government? This includes inventions to create paper without using trees, to create power for the cities without the use of coal or oil, or obsolete classes, and we have lots of those, of nuclear power plants. Question 7. Do you feel, as governor, that it is the individual rights of each state to encourage the citizens to create new inventions that will be looked at by other companies within their state to be able to produce, to aid in keeping the citizens employed in that state? Question 8. Do you feel, as governor, that the money generated within your state lines, governor, within your own state lines, should be greatly kept within the state lines to rebuild the roads, to restructure the way children are educated in the sorry public school systems, which still are suffering compared to what it could be, and also the structure of the private schools to ensure a much better education for all classes of children, for all levels of income that the children are being raised up in, to enable a better functional society when those children finally become of age? Question 9. Do you feel, as governor of your state, that this country's military is grossly over budgeted and misused? That the state governors and its departments should have the right to decide if their military reserves will get involved in other countries or go somewhere that the governor and his and her departments may feel would be better use of their own military reserve units, not above the federal government talking, but of what if, let's say, governor, you and your departments feel they should be used in this other country? All right. Now, question number 10. Do you feel as governor of your state that you are hemmed in by the corruption in this nation's capital, which is horrible levels? That there is things that you feel that your state governor should be doing that is helpful for the state citizens, but cannot because of the Capitol Hill corruption. Question 11. Do you feel, as governor of your state, that it is much healthier to keep the jobs within the state lines and should be very productively helped along? Question 12. Do you feel, as governor of your own state, that the t.s.a. and the d.h.s. should not be within your state lines? Question number 13. Do you feel, as governor of your own state, that your highly trained sheriffs and their precincts and the state patrols and the military reserves can deal with most issues that they come up with in your own state without that t.s.a. and d.h.s. coming into your state? Question 14. Do you feel, as governor of your own state, that the stripping of the federal government of most of the greatly abused power and the states taking back their own power, which belongs to them from the very beginning, will greatly aid in a healthier future for each state? Question 15. Do you feel, as governor of the very state that you are governing, of the state lines, that to impose tighter regulations of governors to make sure they stay above the law while giving the governors much more power to govern their state that had been stripped away from the federal levels generations ago? Question 16. Do you feel, as governor, that extending the governorship to a 6-year, while also putting in an every other year reassessment of what that governor and departments have done for the people and the businesses within their state lines, would create a better future overall in this country, with all the 50 states all following along with these programs here, as I'm explaining them in these questions. Question 17. Do you feel, as governor, that within each state and within each state line there should be a full split between the church, the beliefs, cults, and the state governments, and the different levels of that leadership, that assures that the leadership of the levels of government are making clear decisions based on true knowledge of the situation and not based on the whisperings of a cult that they secretly belong to. Question 18. Do you feel, as governor of your state, that true leadership makes clearer and cleaner decisions than leadership in the old government that had its wheels greased with billions of money under the table, even trillions, which under a new leadership, statewide and countrywide, it will become illegal and punishable by instant termination of office, and the guilty ones in office also be barred from any political functions for the rest of their lives, as also that restriction will need to include their entire family, uncles, aunts, cousins, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, and past wife and relations. And you ask, this is a very tough question, number 18. That it is, but it's, as I will explain later in the video and in videos upcoming, it is necessary to enable the government to have a longer span of time, but the rope has to be much tighter to make sure that they're keeping within this. This will allow for longevity of a cleaner system of government. Question 19. Do you, as governor of your own state, feel that bargaining and trading with other state businesses to your own state is between you and the other governors or business, and not with the federal government putting his hands in the middle trying to make sure he gets his own share, even though it doesn't actually involve them. Question 20. Do you, as governor of your very own state, at least yet, that the U.S. military departments be divided of the 50 states and their own bases that pertains to their home state bases, that a council of each state will work with the other councils of other states to decide whether to engage or not engage together as a unit to aid another country, or to not aid another country in a hostile function, but to be in a productive manner. Question 21. Do you, as governor, feel that each state governor and departments have their own choice to keep the military bases in their state open and without a deceptive leadership on Capitol Hill getting involved in making decisions? What happens within the state belongs within the state. Question 22. Do you feel, as governor of your own state, that the many thousands of hidden inventions kept from us for so long, for over 120 years, thousands of inventions that could better our civilization and could make things much better for the citizens itself? All right, this is a very touchy question, but it needs to be asked. Is it vital for these inventions to be released to the public, to be able to be produced within the states that they were invented in? Should it be open to each governor to which of things at that time was invented within those individual state lines of that governor, so serious upgrades can be made which will fuel much greater the businesses and also help to clean up the waters, the air in and around cities, as well as creating new businesses and new employment within the state lines, not leaving the country, to bring in more income and to have a better income overall within that state or states. Question 23. Do you feel, as governor of your own state, that taxing the churches and beliefs that have a building within the state line, this would be a land tax for the most part, but it's only 1/4 of the amount of a land tax that each year is compared to what the normal businesses and such do, and that this collected part would be kept to that town or city or village that the individual church or belief that has a building and or properties to aid in that local upkeep in that town, city, or village, the parks and the local roads around by those religious or belief establishments. Question 24. Do you feel, as governor of your state, that the decision of what gets put into the fuel at the gas stations, while we are yet on fuel-driven vehicles until electric and other forms of powering vehicles becomes very mainstream, is a decision that each governor has the individual right to make and choose without any fear of kickbacks or other fears from any levels of the greatly needing to get stripped down federal government. Question 25. Do you feel, as governor of your state, that the full decisions of work leaving your state to another country is to be decided by the individual state, not by the corrupt levels of federal government that most people don't even know about? Question 26. Do you, as governor of your state, feel that trading with other countries and of what is traded that is legal and proven legal belongs to the individual state leadership levels and the businesses there within? Question 27. Do you feel, as governor of your state, that hemp, which was professionally grown greatly in the First and Second World War by the American farmers, should have all the restrictions lifted as long as the finished harvested crops and growing of the hemp are harvested properly and under the regulations. Hemp is a product that is beneficial in so many things. It helps make stronger concrete, much better paper, stronger ropes. The oils also have many different health uses to help treat the different conditions. This would open up a large area for farmers to plant crops that would be in good trading also with other countries because of all this land that we have. Question 28. Do you feel as governor of your own state that the choice of the medical grown and used pot and who gets it is a decision that belongs to each individual state without any fear of punishment from the federal government and our hidden inner departments that where our taxes are paying for, but yet they won't explain. Question 29. Do you feel as governor in your own state that the borders of Mexico and the United States need to be built that actually works to greatly aid in the structuring of the jobs to the legal, proven, legal tax-paying American citizens? That a mathematical formula figured in on how many people from other countries, from different parts of the world, including Mexico, will be allowed in this country each year to greater assure a stable economy for the very hard-working, legal, tax-paying citizens of America and its future. So the citizens now, grandchildren and great-grandchildren, will still have a country to proudly call their own, and America. Question 30. Do you as governor of your own state feel that making business with the soon coming off-world business offerings by something that each individual state governor and leaderships should have the rights to separately bid for trades with off-world beings or inner earth species beings after legal understandings of both sides are agreed and be able to held as a joint understanding of a legal guidelines for each side's trading and business agreements to build upon things or to build things for or buy things for them. Question 31. Do you, as governor of your own state, feel this country of America would become much more healthy and for its future, its long future, if the individual states get back their rights of full power and authority, that the governor has the opportunity to do his or her full ability to do their job, that will not become under threats and punishment by the secretive, corrupt, extremely corrupt inner levels of the federal government. The governors need to be able to do their job and understand that they don't have to be always thinking that there's someone around the corner that's going to tip someone off and the governor's going to be gone someday. This has to stop. The governors have to be able to stretch into their full authority and under the new laws, which are much tighter for them, but it'll enable them to guide the state in a much healthier manner. Question 32. Do you feel as governor of your own state that should the 50 state governors get their full rights to have their full power back to each of them, that within 10 years of this country will be able to formulate a multi-level councils replacing all the obsolete political parties on Capitol Hill, and also to move the capital of this nation to a mid-nation area, somewhere from the west side of the upper part of Texas to the lower Dakotas, that is above 1,800 feet to 6,000 feet above sea level, or a little bit higher. So the air, which is much more cleaner, they'll be able to think more clear. And this new capital has to be constructed for very high efficiency and not any more of this Masonic symbolism uh, in which they use to try to control everything. This symbolism has to be removed from this country because it is not helping us any. It is actually keeping many structures of the American civilization under under its thumb, trying to control the lower sectors. Question 33. Finally, question 33. Do you feel, as governor of your own state, that any tunnels built by the hidden parts of the federal government over the many decades under your state lines that you govern should be rightfully governed by you also, as you control what is happening on the ground in your state, and you control what is happening over the air of the lower parts of the air above your state? You should also have that right to rule what is built under your own state. Also, that all foods that would be a GMO free food, and water pure, and chemicals such as lithium and fluoride and other drugs, that this be removed from any waters, any foods, any sources of protein, that the plants and everything, and the fruits and the vegetables, that they are pure, that they are not without these influences which are known to cause cancer, that are known to cause tumors, and have proven it over and over, including to make things start growing on your body that aren't human at all. Question 34. Do you feel, as governor of your own state, that the levels of the healthy foods that are GMO and other lab-created drugs, such as I've said before, fluoride and illegal drugs, should be mandatory illegal to be in the public food and water in any shape, form, or manner? That each state governor will take steps to ensure that the beings that live within his or her state lines, also that the farmers are not being threatened anymore by the hidden levels of the federal government, and also of companies that have been threatening the farmers for some time now. If they do not plant those heavily laden chemical seeds that the farmers want to put in the fields, but they don't want to have those type of crops with those in. But if they don't, the companies and some parts of the hidden governor threaten the farmers. They threaten the farmers that if you don't plant this, we will take away your farm, even if it's been in your family for many generations. You will plant what we tell you. This is horrible. This is horrible. This should be abolished immediately. And planting healthy stuff. The farmers know how to plant crops. They understand nature, and they should be allowed to do what they do best. Providing for the rest of the people who do not understand how to grow crops. Question 35. Do you feel, as governor of your own state, that the companies that openly in other ways threaten those farmers on taking their land or properties and so forth, if those farmers do not use the products, that those companies and those establishments within the federal government are tried at the individual state level courts with which is versus a company being charged in a federal court? That it has to be state by state. This here will allow the public to see how the things are flowing, because historically speaking, when things get into a federal court, the wheels of the wagon don't seem to get greased very well, and it takes years before you get any idea of what's happening on that case. This is all a Ponzi schemes. However, that these companies and these bureaus that threaten our farmers, they should be tried at the state court levels, and regulations that those crooked companies and crooked departments of federal government are have to be able to contain themselves in those state trials. Question 36. Do you feel, as governor of your own state that you may have had for 1 term or 2 terms or so forth, that each and every FEMA camp or installation, and this is facts, they're all over the place, in, let's say, your state alone, even though there are many states, that those within your state to have a full disclosure of records of its building, as long as the full release of the files with who has been put in charge of the facilities, and who and how are they getting their incomes from the American taxpayer, along with the files and how much it is costing each state in taxes they have been built in, including also the because this land has been built, these land that the FEMA camps have been built on technically should probably belong to the state. Yet the state should have the authority on these things, perhaps to either tear down these FEMA camps or convert them into apartments or businesses, or those incubator businesses, those starting up businesses, and so forth. Now, my next video, I will be getting on to understanding the basic level of councils of ruling on government that is understood on other worlds. As always, journey safe, experience many new things, allow the expansion of the greater mind, and be able to understand what this country could become, that we can bring into manifest and happen. This is the ancient Tralaka. Good night.